Let's go over the human design energy relationship compatibility / comparison of Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, because we want to talk a little bit about relationships and human design and, how useful it can be. So let's dive in. I'm Sable Danielle, a human design coach and sound healer. And welcome to this video, this human design breakdown of Kim Kardashian and Kanye West energy compatibility. So we're going to talk about their energy type, their authority, their centers, and some of the specific gates that shape their behavior and could have impacted their relationships and how they interacted together. So let's begin by going over Kim Kardashian's energy type. Kim Kardashian is a projector with a 3-5 profile, and she has sacral authority. Projectors are non-energy beings. We weren't born with a defined sacral center, which means we don't have a built-in battery pack like some other people. So projectors naturally just need to kind of take breaks or need to take time away from people. Also, projectors are naturally like guides and kind of can give wisdom to others. Also, projectors need to be recognized and invited in before they can share their opinions and insights without it like falling on deaf ears. And so Kim's success in, the entertainment world and her public persona could be seen as, an alignment with projector energy because she's recognized for just who she is. She shows up, people say that she's talentless or whatever, but she also has a massive following and fan base. But it's like, even if you say that she's talentless, it doesn't really matter because she's being who she is as a projector, I guess, and showing up authentically, which allowed her to be in her position in the world, in society, and as a public figure. Also, you can see, so projectors are sensitive beings. Sensitive meaning like they don't have a lot, we have some undefined areas in our chart, which means we're taking in and amplifying a lot of energy. Also, as a projector, you're naturally like yearning to feel seen and valued, appreciated, and worthy by the people around you, and just period. So that's often a cycle that you can get stuck, like lost thinking in. So yeah, that's just one part of a projector. And maybe, I'm not saying this is true. I'm just bouncing ideas out there, playing devil's advocate. Maybe potentially that could have played into her needing to feel seen and wanted and valued, could have played into the role that like sex has played in her life. She got famous off of a sex tape, but also maybe she was doing that. I'm not saying, whoever forced her, but coming from a space of, I want to feel valued, I want to feel good, so I'm going to do something to please my man. I know he likes this. Or, maybe she's just a freak and she likes it. Who knows? Whatever. Let's get back on topic. Anyways, she's a projector with a 3-5 profile. A 3-5 profile means that line 3 is a very experimental, selective type of energy you learn through trial and error. So also that could play into what I was just talking about with the sex tape, learning through your mistakes, trial and error. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna learn the hard way. That's kind of the energy of line 3. And she has that in her profile. It's a major part of her energy, 3-5. And so also with line 3, she's got line 5, the ability to project solutions to the world. And I guess you can kind of sort of see that because she has been, voicing her opinions and thoughts in the political realm trying to help people get out of jail and all that stuff. Also, the third line shows that Kim Kardashian learns through experiences adapting and refining her approach over time. The fifth line gives her the capacity to be seen as like a savior or a leader, like I said, with like helping people get out of jail who don't need to be there or who shouldn't be there. But this can also lead to projections from others that she may not always live up to. So having a undefined throat center like Kim Kardashian does means that her ability to express herself fluctuates depending on her environment and the people that are around her. And this can manifest sometimes through like her struggling to find her voice in certain situations, or on the opposite end, being highly influential when she's around people who activate her throat center. And also she has an undefined emotional solar plexus center, and that means, and she has a highly empathic energy, and she can absorb and amplify the emotions of others through her emotional solar plexus center. So she's very emotionally sensitive. I mean, if you watch the Kardashian show, she is very sensitive. Her feelings get hurt a lot. She cries a lot, sometimes over little things or what things other people may view as little, not little to her, obviously, but that shows up through her emotional solar plexus. She's sensitive to people around her. She's also vulnerable to emotional conditioning, where she may feel overwhelmed by external emotional waves, and she might not even recognize that they are external. She just might be bombarded by heavy, intense emotions, and she may not know why, but it could be because her environment changed or somebody super emotional stepped into the room, and so she's taking in and amplifying all that energy. All right, so let's get into her gates. The gates are the numbers that show up on inside of the shapes, which would be the centers on your body graph. And so Kim has gate 56, the gate of storytelling, highlighted and defined in her chart, which gives her the ability to communicate her ideas and experiences in a way that captivates others. And this can show through her success in her social media and storytelling by building her own personal brand and empire by just being herself. Also, she has gate 6, the gate of conflict, and this represents sensitivity to emotional tension and boundaries. And then gate 49, the gate of revolution, is about standing up for principles, and this shows in her advocacy work and her desire to help create change in the criminal justice system. Now, let's dive into Kanye West. Kanye West is a projector with a 1-3 profile and splenic authority. And so, Kanye West, where do we begin with him? He has splenic authority, and so, like Kim, Kanye is designed to guide and direct others from their projector energy, but his decision-making comes from his intuition, his splenic center, which is defined. And that gives him a strong, quick, intuitive nudge and knowing in the moment, like it's a very strong, this is what it is right now. And that is with Kanye compared to Kim Kardashian's sacral authority. Okay, so also Kanye West as a projector, since they're both projectors, they don't generate consistent energy to just always be on the move. And so instead, they guide others to use their energy effectively. And Kanye's influence in the music industry and fashion world would align with his projector energy, where his unique insights, especially coming from his intuition, you could say, lead to creative breakthroughs. And if you look at Kanye West's body graph, he has a defined will center, and the will center is responsible for willpower, self-esteem, confidence, self-worth, and you could definitely see that in everything that Kanye West does. He has a super duper duper strong sense of willpower. It seems like he's always been able to get done the things he wanted. Obviously, we don't know all of his goals, but whatever he has brought into fruition has seemed very easy, and he's accomplished a lot, and there's still so much more life for him to be able to accomplish more. And that drive comes from his will center. And then also, people also oftentimes call Kanye West, cocky or egotistical or too confident, and that comes from his will center. It's defined, and that's a rare thing. Most of the population has an undefined or open will center. He does not. So he's automatically born with that reliable, consistent willpower and confidence within him. So that's just naturally him. Let's see what else we're gonna say. I just lost my spot. Okay, so like Kim, Kanye has an undefined throat center, meaning his ability to express himself, fluctuates. They don't have defined energy to just rely on coming from their throat center. And so this can make Kanye very influential, or he can either struggle to be understood, which you can see both. I think that oftentimes he's very misunderstood when he communicates, but he also is very influential when he communicates. And so depending on who he's around or depending on the circumstance, that's just what the energy is. But regardless, his powerful, his voice is powerful when he speaks. He has public speeches that are powerful and interviews that show when his throat center is activated. But you can also see where his communication lags a little bit because of the blockages, maybe from his throat center, or because of who he's around or the energy that he's taking in through his throat center. Kanye West has a 1-3 profile, and so the first line in his profile means that he's very deeply introspective and he's always seeking knowledge and understanding. And the third line is his trial and error, experimenting type of energy. And you can kind of see that because Kanye West has done things that nobody else has done. He's paved the way through this energy that comes through line 3, his experimental energy. So that's huge in him. Okay, so also his emotional solar plexus is undefined, which would make him very empathetic and susceptible to absorbing emotions of everybody around him and then amplifying those emotions. So, Kanye West, when he is emotional, he's emotional. So the thing about not having a defined emotional solar plexus, even though the people who have defined emotional solar plexus have strong, intense emotions all of the time, undefined and open centers actually take in and amplify the energy. So depending on who Kanye's around, when he's by himself, he more than likely could be pretty calm, for the most part, unless he's triggered or something. But depending on who he's around, if someone is very amped up or emotional or has an emotional solar plexus defined, his energy could be very, very intense. And so if someone's coming around him with intense emotions and feelings, or he was just around somebody with intense emotions and feelings, he's going to take that in and amplify it, and it's going to come across even more intense than the other emotional person who had intense emotions. And so this could have played a major factor in their relationship. Having high emotions for both people, they both have undefined emotional solar plex centers. So they both were probably taking in and amplifying the energy. So when they had blow-ups, they were major blow-ups. They probably had really calm times because they have calm energy naturally. But when the energy and emotions are off, then they're super intense. And that could have been a problem for them, especially since projectors are naturally sensitive. And so it's having intense emotions and crazy ways of communicating can make a projector not happy. Okay, so that could have really impacted their relationship. Okay, so let's talk about the gates that Kanye has defined. Unlike Kim, unlike Kim, Kanye has a defined will center, which gives him a strong sense of, like I told you, personal power, drive, determination, persistence, and also confidence. And some gates that are aligned with that, and some energies that could have also contributed to like that type of energy. He had gate 35 defined in his chart, which is the gate of progress. This drives him to seek new experiences and continuously evolve. And if Kim doesn't have that in her chart or defined in her chart, she may not always want to continuously evolve, and maybe they just grew apart because that's just what is designed in their energy. They were on two different frequencies. Their energy's no longer aligned. With gate 35, you're never satisfied with staying in one place, and you're always pushing the boundaries of what's possible. And you can totally see that with him. He's always pushing boundaries. And Kim pushes boundaries too, but I think she also likes a little bit of safety. I would guess by what I can see from what I've seen on social media and her shows. Gate 8 is the gate of contribution, and this reflects Kanye West's desire to bring his unique vision to the world. He feels a deep need to contribute something very meaningful and groundbreaking, which we can see all throughout his career, his music, his fashion, even when he started doing the Sunday services and everything. It's just meaningful and groundbreaking. Everything is very impactful and has a unique vision from his mind. Gate 43 is the gate of insight, and this is Kanye West's ability to think differently and come up with innovative ideas that challenge conventional thinking and thoughts. He's definitely way ahead of his time and brings in a lot of new insights to the surface. And so Kanye West has a lot of progressive, evolving, impactful energy that really shifts the world in a very innovative, creative, unique way. And I think that him and Kim just operate very differently from that aspect. He also has gate 26 defined, which is the gate of trickster, which gives him the ability to persuade and influence others. And this makes him a powerful communicator who can sell his ideas and confidence with charisma and everything. And so comparing both of their energies together, they have a lot of similarities, but they also have some differences that could have played major roles in their relationship. Both Kim and Kanye are projectors, meaning they're designed to guide and direct others rather than generate consistent energy themselves. And this shared energy type likely means that they both understand the need for recognition and invitations in their relationship. And they thrive when they're acknowledged for their unique gifts. So the shared projector energy is a bonus for them. Also, they both have undefined throat centers, which means their communication can be influenced, by their environment and the people around them. And it fluctuates, it's adaptable. This also means in their relationship that they could manifest moments where they both struggle communicating effectively or appropriately, or their communication could be misunderstood. But in the right environment, they can amplify each other's voices and express each other and make themselves feel very powerful. So they could be a good team if their energies are balanced and managed correctly. They both also have undefined emotional centers, which we talked about earlier. They're very sensitive and emotional beings, and they're very sensitive to their environment. They could have a very deep emotional connection between the two of them, but it could also be very volatile because of that as well. And so one key difference in Kim and Kanye's energy is that Kanye has a defined will center and Kim's will center is undefined. So this could be very overpowering for Kim The will center, like I said, is very rare to be defined anyway. And Kanye West energy coming from his will center is very strong. You can see that easily. And so Kim is taking in and amplifying that energy, which makes it very strong and very overpowering for her. And also this could make his communication style maybe a little too harsh for her as well, which could have been potentially an issue in their relationship, because Kanye would have came off a lot more assertive with his confidence and drive, whereas Kim is a little more like flexible and adaptable and not always consistent with like her determination or sense of self-worth. They also share gate 45, the gate of the gatherer, which represents like leadership and the ability to attract people and resources. And so shared together, likely like it strengthened their connections as they both possessed leadership qualities, and that helped them manage both of their brands and empires and everything that they're building. Also, so Kim has sacral authority, which means she's designed to make in-the-moment gut decisions, while Kanye has splenic authority. He's meant to make in-the-moment intuitive decisions. Kim needs yes or no questions because of her authority, whereas Kanye needs open-ended questions to be asked to him to be able to like communicate effectively. And so that is another major difference. Kim may need to wait a little bit for her sacral responses when she makes decisions. It's a in the moment yes or no, but if there's a hesitation, then that just means maybe later. Whereas Kanye's is specifically based off of his intuitive instincts and how safe he feels in that like environment. And so these differences can also play a role in how they make their decisions, and it could affect the everyday, friction or things that could misunderstandings that can happen in their relationship when making decisions. And so while Kim and Kanye both have a lot of shared energy throughout, the projector energy, they also have very different energy. They complement each other, but they also have major contrasts too. So understanding these dynamics could help them navigate their connection in a better way. And maybe if they were aware of this and understood their energy, they could have potentially saved their relationship, or it could have lasted longer, or they could have decided that this wasn't something they wanted to do before. Either way, it played out how it was meant to play out. But this just goes to show how you can kind of see the energies of human design play out in a relationship. And if you want to find out your energy type or your partner's energy type, you can go to my website, sabledanielle.com/getmychart, and pull up your energy type as well as your partner's, and you can compare your energies and see what that looks like. And if you have questions, book a consultation with me, and we can work one-on-one to go over it, and I can give you some insights to strengthen your relationship. So drop a comment if this resonated, or don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.